Alright, so today I'm going to go over intercept form. So it looks like this. And the reason why it's called intercept form is because it's giving you the x-intercepts. So the x-intercepts are actually the p and the q. And as you can tell, it looks like it's in factored form. Now, if you want to find the axis of symmetry, it's pretty much the average between the p and the q, the intercepts. So if you wanted to find the axis of symmetry, you would add up the p and the q and then divide by 2. All right, so let's try this example. So my x-intercepts are going to be -1 and 5, right? So if you go back to the original form, notice it's x minus p, x minus q. So your x-intercepts are just p and q. Okay, so from there, so I already know my graph is going to cross at -1 and 5. We know it's going to open up down, right? What you could do, there's a few options here. You could change it to standard form if you wanted to. So if I change it to standard form, I'm going to FOIL. And then I'm going to distribute the negative. Okay, so if you want, you can do x equals -b over 2a. And I know that's going to be my axis of symmetry. If you also, remember, average your p and q, you're also going to get x equals 2 is your axis of symmetry. So why does this help me? Well, that tells me, remember, my vertex, my x of my vertex is already 2. So now I'm going to plug that in, right, to the function. So -4 plus 8 plus 5 equals 9. So now I know my vertex is 2, 9. And there we have our graph. Domain is obviously all real numbers. Sorry, this should be R for range. Y can be less than or equal to 9. Right? You're always looking at the Y of your vertex. And that's all they wanted us to do there. Okay, let's try another one. So if you look at example 2, you'll notice that it is not in intercept form. In order to get it into intercept form, I'm going to factor. So if I asked you to factor this, obviously let's take out a GCF first. And then you should notice it's difference of squares. So now we have, intercept form. So what do we know? Our x-intercepts are -2 and 2. Why don't we find the vertex? -b over 2a. So I know my vertex is going to start with a 0. Plug in 0. What do we get? -8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's my nice graph. My domain, again, is all real numbers. What's our range? So what can the y values be? Excuse me. It could be anything greater than or equal to -8. And my axis of symmetry is x equals 0, so I don't have to draw that. All right, last thing. So what if I ask you to write a quadratic function in standard form whose graph satisfies the given condition? So it passes through these 2 points in -420. So something should ring a bell there. Those are my x-intercepts. So if they're my x-intercepts, I can at least set up my intercept form here. Now, I have another point, so that means x is -4 and y is 20. So you're going to plug these in to solve for a. That's the only way to do it. Okay, so if we do that, what do we get? 20 equals a times negative 4 plus 9 times negative 4 plus 2. So if I multiply those, I get negative 10. I'm going to put negative 10 in front of a, and a should hopefully equal negative 2. Okay, so let's throw this into intercept form. Okay, now how do I change that to standard form? If you'd like to pause this, feel free to pause it and then come back. I'm running out of room, but what you would need to do is FOIL this, right? And then distribute the negative 2. So you're just multiplying everything. And if you pause the movie right now, you should get negative 2x squared minus 22x minus 36. Please don't just copy this. I want you to actually try it, right? So FOIL those, distribute the negative 2, and then this should be your final answer. So again, looking back at the 2 points I give you, they are x-intercepts. So since they're both negative, inside I'm going to put x plus 9 and x plus 2. I have another point, xy. I'm going to plug that in for x and y, and then I'm going to solve for a. That's the best way to find a. And then once you have a, now I have it in intercept form. To change it to standard form, just multiply. Distribute whatever you need to do. And you should wind up with y equals negative 2x squared minus 22x minus 36. Alright, so this is your foldable. Please glue this in. Feel free to watch this movie again. I apologize if I was moving a little too fast. And then start your classwork, post it on Canvas.